Is our formation that? Oh,
Yeah, form.
Alright, well, the formation lap is
Who's
now
won now?
underway. No chance of rain today here in Qatar, as most drivers get off the grid, Pika being the one at the back at the moment. There's 6 kilometers, wait, 6? I think that, yeah, 6 kilometers is the speed of the wind today. The Williams on pole, followed by a Haas. Then it is the new driver. What's his name again? Dragon. Right. Yeah. Starting. Wait, is it Dragon who's P3?
Dragon is starting P3. Yep.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, but anyway, as they make their way through the track for the start of, well, the end of the formation lap.
They're all probably really excited for the season opener of season 3
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, round 1 here in Qatar is about to get underway.
They're all about to start to form on the grid into their positions that they qualified in qualifying.
Yeah.
My heart was probably all pumping like mad. Getting
Yeah.
ready
Yeah.
for a
Very
grueling
nervous.
20 lap 8 race.
Yeah. Must be very nerve-wracking on this 16 people filled grid here today. Very good attendance for the first race of the season. But as they all make their way onto their places on the grid, we're going to get underway soon with Mick being on pole, followed by Stealth in second, then the other Haas making his debut, Dragon. But yeah.
Yep, as the safety car rounds up the grid, as all the drivers are ready to get their accelerators pumping.
Yeah, but yeah. So do I just count down or whatever, and then yellow and green, or
Light, yeah.
yeah, all right. All right. So here in Qatar for round 1, it's going to be 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light, and it's lights out in Qatar for round 1 of the season 3 of HIFL. It seems like they all get a pretty good start. The Haas and Mick seem like they have an equal start going into turn 1. The Alpine using a different line and then slotting back into the line that everyone else is using into turn 1. Who is going to come out on top? It seems like the Red Bull at the moment. The Red Bull's got a very good start there. The Alpha Tauri at the back having a bad start there. Into turn 3 they go. The Haas getting a bump there, but it seems like the Red Bull has taken the lead. But it seems like Moto in the McLaren is also up there as well, followed by an Alpine and a Haas as well. But yeah, the pole sitter Mick not having a good start there, falling down multiple places as we see Pikachu going wide there, and as the Aston
Yeah,
Martin goes
you're
wide as
right.
well.
He did not get a good start there, did the pole man. He's now found himself in the midfield, struggling with the season 2 and 1 champion Mitch all over him. The point that ERS in the later stages of Sector 2 is under phenomenal pressure right now as he's dropping. He is dropping. Will he find his pace? As right now at the front, Outguard's leading as he's now on the pit straight, deploying ERS. His teammate goes slightly long-sided as now there's 3 behind Outguard, Stealthy, Pumpkin, and ASM all battling for that PT position, and Outguard has to defend going into the first corner because they've all deployed tons of ERS, and ASM gets a phenomenal exit in the Alpine, braking super late as he's got the lead of the race right now. As all of these, well, Outguard for note is on mediums, Stealthy's on mediums, but ASM is on softs. So he will be faster at this stage of the race, as everyone else seems to be on mediums. So, well, Pikachu and P11, um, that's it really. Everyone's on the medium compounds apart from ASM and Pikachu. Pikachu, though, talking about him, is in P11. He's used to getting top fives in the races last season. This season, not going so smooth. As
Yeah, yeah, he is a very talented driver. But yeah, the Red Bull Outguard taking back the lead. I'm pretty sure Stealth in the Haas went over the sausage curbs earlier in the lap, and that's why he's fallen behind. But anyway, at the end of the second lap of racing, it's going to be Outguard in the lead, followed by his teammate. Um, on the mediums. Most people running the mediums at the start of this race. It'll be interesting what strategies people go for. But Bali, Pepe and the Alpha Tauri getting up to fourth, even with the fastest lap as well. But in the turn one they go, Williams going very wide there. That's not going to be good for him. And it's Mick, the pole sitter. He is not having a very good race at the moment. But yeah, near the back, the pack is starting to spread out a bit as there's an Alfa Romeo, a Peugeot, and an Aston Martin battling right now. The Peugeot being Alan into turn 3 they go. They're battling right now, and yeah, I see who comes out on that battle. Seems like it's going to be Alan for now. But anyway, back to the front, and it's the Alpine who's retaken the lead. It seems like in the early parts of the lap, that is where the softs are quicker, but they will soon wear out, and that will be beneficial for the Red Bull and what's Bally on? Bally is also on the soft, so he's going to need to use those softs as well when he can.
oh yeah, I missed him out. Wow, yeah, he's really exploding with all the pace right now. He might even take the lead. This is a phenomenal start for the soft compound driver, as before they would have been a bit concerned. They really need to be at the front if they need to make the strategy work. Or are they going to try and bet on some sort of safety car? But so far, they're making it work.
Yeah,
But
they
yeah,
certainly
sector
are.
three. Sector three, the mediums, they are really strong. They're continuously gaining on the soft compound runners. Yeah, so that's really interesting to know. As Red Bull drivers are going side by side, and now they've sort of okay, yeah, they're all finding composure, sitting in their positions. ASM now comfortably in the lead, but then Stealthy and Motto, all four wide in the sort of top midfield as Barley's in front. Then it's Stealthy with then Motto and Pumpkin, giving them all company as they go three wide. Oh, the McLaren goes off track actually, and is then
Yeah.
down in the 10th position and 11th, no, 9th and 10th is Dragon and Pikachu. Haas driver and the McLaren go side by side as it was. Oh, Pikachu went deeper, but then uh, Dragon got the better exit as now Dennis is going to be supplying them both DRS. So Dennis has to be careful here. He needs to get a wriggle on because he's going to be maybe involved in this battle for the P8 position.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
yeah, it is at the front. The Alpine battling with the Red Bull still. Maybe those softs starting to wear a bit now into the early stages of the race. Outguard currently in P1 as it stands. Then Bally, and then it is the Haas of Stealth. But yeah, near at the back there's a battle going on between Dragon uh, and Pikachu. Yeah, Pika involved as well. Or Denner also involved in this battle through sector 1 they go. And yeah, just falling back from that pack at the moment. It seems like Pika is on the softs, but he's not really using them to any good right now. Denny on the mediums, and then Dragon on the mediums after starting P3. He has gone down to 10th. It is not looking good for him at the moment. Yeah, not much going on behind, but yeah, back at the front, Outguard has now got quite a big gap right now to the Alpine, who might be thinking the pit maybe around lap 10 or something like that. But yeah, Botta and the Haas battling there, but the Haas seems like he's gone a bit wide, and that gives the Alpine the chance to gain the place, and maybe he could fancy some of the cars ahead. Um, but yeah, into turn 1, the leaders go. Stealth going wider than everyone else with the line he is using. Um, and this is what we've seen every lap so far. The Alpine very good in sector 1, but falls off in sector 2 and sector 3 as Outguard will probably retake the lead, and that's what he's seeming to do now. Side by side into
As we are back with some commentary for the coverage, and after a couple of laps of none, we've seen a couple of drivers hit some top runners, and that being said, ASM, no, ASM struggling.
Yeah, he's still on those softs, isn't
Yeah, I think he's still on those softs. He needs to make them last longer, but then the soft tires who have just been fit on Stealthy's car can't make it to the end, so he's going to have to pit again. Strategies for this race are quite difficult because most of the soft runners did not make it work. So they're going to be twiddling their thumbs thinking, what can we do to get back up there? As Pikachu in the McLaren does pit for another set of softs, hoping he can try and make these work and maybe end it off on a pair of mediums because you must use two compounds in HIFL as he comes out just in front of the Alfa Romeo of Dambo. So it goes nearly side by side of Dambo, tries to challenge, but then Pikachu makes those softs work and gets him heated up within some seconds as he is off and he is in P8.
he? Yeah, annoyingly, yeah, you know when the Zoom disconnected, I didn't see, and I was just waffling for like ages, and then after I
That's,
stopped and it was just silence, I looked and I realised it finished.
that's okay, don't worry. As in that time though, Silver's crashed. Dennis has also crashed, then Pumpkin, he might have disconnected. I'm not quite sure what happened there. As Nikki in the Alfa Romeo pits on lap 12 of the Qatari Grand Prix for Alfa Romeo. As he's hoping he'll get some points, but it's quite far down. As Mitch, two-time champion of HIFL, is going to try and make it record champion. He's still on his mediums in P3 and is nearly on the back of the pole position man of Mix in the Williams. And he's really gaining on him. And behind them is Barley, who's 9 seconds behind. There's a couple of gaps forming in the race after quite a close start. As yeah, there's some considerable gaps now, not really much side to side racing. As Dragon and Dambo in P8 and 9 are going side by side into the first corner, and it looks like Dragon's got the position on Dambo just by braking slightly later as he seals P8, as he's now going to be chasing down Pikachu, who's on the softs and he's on the mediums, so there might be a slight pace disadvantage.
Yeah,
ASM still on the sauce for ASM though. In the Alpine, he's really trying to stretch these just to do a pair of mediums to the end. He's gonna really struggle in this time of the race, and then he's gonna have super fast pace in the last stint because he's gonna be used to really old softs. And Pikachu, who just hit, has gone purple in sector two, so he's making these compound of softs work. And he's going to be trying to progress. And he's going to be soon on the back of Stealthy, who's also picked for new softs. So that could be a good battle as Dambo and Moto in P9 and 10, almost going side by side. Moto takes his very wide line and he gets the switchback on Dambo, and Dambo goes back into the pits after bump heading into the pits as Stealthy and Pikachu, though, both going purple. So it's going to be interesting there to see who has the better pace and who's going to be progressing further. And they're going to be onto the back of Mick in the Alpine soon.
yeah. Mick just pitting for softs there, has made him fall down a couple positions, but hopefully he can do some good on those softs. Same with Pikachu and the others who have just pitted for brand new softs. ASM, the Alpine, running in fourth currently after being in the lead for a bit at the start of the race. Let's see what he can do. Can he catch Barter or Bally or whatever in the Alpha Tauri? Um, then the pole sitter Mick currently in P2, but he's going to take the lead as outguard pits. Let's see what he's going to put on to his Red Bull car as he stops into the box, and he's going to go onto the softs. A lot of people pitting onto the softs right now as Bally comes into the pits as well, just finishing a stint on his softs. Let's see what he's going to put on now as he pulls into the final box on the pit lane. And it's going to be the mediums, going different to everyone else. But yeah, there's wait, is this a battle or are they getting lapped? I think he's getting lapped. Nicky getting lapped in the Alfa Romeo after a tough race on those hards. But yeah, Mick currently out in the lead. But he's going to have to defend from Outguard, who is on those softs and is going to be looking to attack Mick. But yeah, P3 is currently Stealth, followed by Pika, who's right behind him. A battle starting to form there with ASM behind as well. One Alpine running the blue and pink livery, and one just using the almost like bubblegum pink like Alpine. The Alpine both 5th and 6th right now, which looks like it's the strongest performance of one constructor so far in this race. But Mick is into the pits. Let's see what he's going to put on as he goes into one of the middle pit squares. He's going to put onto the softs. So yeah, Outguard regains the lead, having a large gap to Stealth, who is now into P2. Mick is going to go down to around P10 like where he was before, as he comes out of the pits. Slotting in right behind Mick there. Dan O'Bun right now for Alfa Romeo, currently in the last points place, but will Allen be looking to squeeze into the top 10 if any incidents occur in the dying stages of this race, as we have 13 laps left, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and we happen to have 13 drivers also remaining, as right now everyone's just trying to get to the end of the race. Not much action, but Pikachu and Stealthy are quite close on track. 5 tenths in the last. Okay, now it's a lot more of a gap, but it was a considerable gap. As tons of people are getting cuts in the first sectors on the control panel. As right now, Mix and Mitch, quite similar names, are close on track as he's going to be chasing down Mitch, who's on those older softs. Be interesting to see if he can actually get him. Oh, as he gets a slow down, so that's not going to be ideal for him, as Dragon and Barley are going to go through. So, Mix, talking about the pole sitter, has some work to do as Motto. Has a tire glitch, so that's his race basically over. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into the bit. He's into the pits right now. Those medium, ending that stint on the mediums, and he's going to seem like he's going to retire as he slows down in the pits. And yeah, that seems like it's going to be his race over, which is going to push
Alan.
Yeah, Alan into the points on debut, isn't it?
I don't think so. I know he's participated in other sessions in HIFL, but
yeah.
As Motto, he's going to carry on for this lap, and he's going to try and take it from ASM. As talking about ASM, he is in P3 right now with Stealthy just behind, with then Mitch just behind Stealthy, and also Mix and Barley in P7 and 8 going side by side, with then lap traffic getting in the way. So we're going to have to ride on board with these two drivers as they're going to try and make a battle happen here.
As ASM is into the pits at the end of his soft stint, Soft he's done so far. What's he going to go on to now? It's going to be the medium tyres. Maybe he's going to try and get those to the end. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does.
And Stealthy and Mitch in P3 and P4 now are going basically side by side. As I think it was Mitch who was behind Stealthy, he's now got through on Stealthy. So the Haas driver may need to think of pitting soon because his pace is deteriorating as we speak. And then Dragon, fast people are behind, so he can't afford to be on slow tyres.
Yeah, as an Alfa Romeo, I think, not sure what Alfa Romeo that was. I'm pretty sure it's Nicky going over a bump now at the end of sector 1. That will not help him, as
No.
Joseph gets past him for P12, but he goes wide. So Nicky might have another go at him. Joseph being on the mediums, Nicky on the hard, so it'll be hard for Nicky to defend or attack him now. As Moto. Trying to gain on Allen, but also trying to go for that fastest lap. Will this be his attempt now?
Oh no, Pikachu pits.
Yeah, and he goes on to the mediums, so another driver who's probably going to try and go to the end, but it seems like he's stuck. He's not getting away there, but...
Yeah, he must have had the tyre glitch. He's now Stealthy's pitting. Will he get the tyre glitch? It's all kicking off in the pit. And then Stealthy goes to the mediums as well, last in, and they're going to be comfortable at the end on a set of mediums. As Mix in the Williams on the soft compound tyres got his fastest lap, as his pace is strong, as he's right behind Dragon, and he is side by side of him, as Dragon's going to try and keep up some sort of defense here, but early on the accelerator is Dragon, no, is Mix, and he's through on the Dayton driver. So that is some good points for Williams, and Mix is going to try and catch up to Mitch, the two-time champion, Flying Dutchman in the Alpine. So he has his work cut out, and Outguard though in P1. Looking comfortable. Very comfortable indeed.
Yeah, indeed. So, Moto seemed like he got invalidated in that last sector, not being able to get the fastest at that time out. But yeah, Outguard currently leading with 9 laps left as Mick comes into the pits. After a relatively short... Was it a short stint? I can't remember. When did he pit?
Yeah, it was relatively quite short.
Yeah,
and just
but
Motto is Motto's
he's out. He's crashed.
He's out. He has crashed in a very
strange area,
as he wants the safety car.
But will we get it? That will benefit Mitch, who was just pitted onto those softs. Yeah, that will help him. Yeah, Mick now in P2, but will he stay there as Dragon is behind him? But he is on the mediums, then a large gap to Bally, and yeah.
By the way, no safety car because we need 2 other drivers to crash. By the way.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works in HIFL. As Motto's left the game. So he might have disconnected that. And I would also like to just clarify, Dennis in the Ferrari did disconnect. He did not crash. So
I'm pretty sure Silver Nico disconnected as well. I remember looking at him and I think his camera's in the pits before he left.
Yeah. And it's a really cool race because Barley in the AlphaTauri he finds himself in P3 and Dragon, who's just behind him, has picked. So he has a second gap and 8 laps left of being in P3. Can he do it? Pikachu on the medium in the McLaren, going to be trying to hunt him down as Barley in a really strong position.
Yeah, he's been doing great in league racing at the moment, winning in HIFL in Australia last week. He's in form right now in Ion Racing at the moment. But will he be able to pick up another podium here in HIFL round 1 at Qatar?
Yes, he's driving a very composed race for the time being, and he should be proud of his performance so far.
But yeah, top 10 at the moment is Outguard, followed by Mick, Bally, Pika, Stealth, ASM, Mick, Dragon, Dan Baban, and Alan. Only 2 people out of the points, starting with 16, ending with starting with 16, and at the moment we have 12.
As right now, we've got Stealthy and the McLaren of Pikachu going side by side on the straight. Stealthy looking to be ahead. They're going to go wheel to wheel in the first corner as Pikachu braking super late, getting a really good exit as well, but then Stealthy deploying more ERS to seal the position. But then Pikachu again re-challenging. Stealthy goes wider, hoping for the better straight line speed from going wide, as he's now he's not in front completely yet, as Pikachu keeps braking later, as he's really sending it through the corners. Stealthy gets attached to the curb a bit, but it looks like he's now fully ahead of Pikachu. But Pikachu's going to keep trying to come back at him because Stealthy's not driving the best on these tyres. He keeps going super wide in some corners as Outguard does pit, and he's going to be closely in the lead, I think, of Mix. I think Outguard's just done enough in his stint to remain in P1. But it'll be interesting to see because Minx also pitting. He's also pitting. So Outguard will remain in P1 as Mix is going to be pitting for probably a set of stops. Yes, he does. So Outguard dominating in the season opener of HIFL. Mitch, though, talking about the two-time champion, is just in front of his teammate in P7, and his pace doesn't look strong. We're used to seeing him dominate each race, domination of the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, the gap between Bally and Outguard currently being 14 seconds with 6 laps left. But yeah, Nicky's still in last at the moment, over 171 seconds behind the leader. Not much going on at the moment.
Well, Stealthy and Pikachu back to battling, actually, as they're in now the set to 3. And Pikachu constantly can't he can't remain in the position. But these two drivers are basically carrying both of them to Barley, and Barley's going to be concerned as he currently sits in P2, as these drivers are going to be almost working together in a sense, given supplying DRS. And Barney's gonna have to come up with a response as ASM and Mix within a second of each other, just behind them two. So it's all kicking off in the midfield today, as then Dragon also behind ASM trying to get involved. So from P3 to all the way to P8 are within 6 seconds. This is some really classy driving from all those guys today, as Barley losing time to Outguard. So Outguard's looking confident with 5 laps remaining. Barley just hoping he can keep on to the position, which will be a momentum of a shift to Alpha Tauri after this race.
Yeah, Great performance by Outguard at the moment.
Yes, very good performance as Stealthy is remaining in P3. And now Pikachu's coming under threat from Mitch in the Alpine, as Mitch is going to want to try and get P4 in this race. 16 points will be good enough for him, as he's now opening up his corner. As, by the way, Stealthy goes wide off the exit. So now Mitch now coming back at Stealthy on the straight, as they might be going side by side into the first corner. No, it looks like Stealthy remains, but Pikachu drops down to P5. Mix on the softs, not really gaining positions as Dragon's almost dropped off from the pack. So, yeah, it's now basically a three-way battle. P3, Barley looks to be holding on to P2.
Yeah, he
Well,
does. But Mick will be trying to catch him up in these last stages of the race on those softs, while Bally being on the mediums. Outguard really dominating, and Mick sets the fastest sector 1 with his softs, as he's currently running P5, but has just passed Stealth for P4. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he can do, as
yes,
Pika is also right behind them as well. Dragon close behind as well. ASM actually had a massive moment a few laps ago. I was watching him. The final straight before the last turn, he nearly went in the wall actually. So it's good to see him doing well there. But yeah, the gap is currently falling down between Mick and Bally for P2 as they go into turn 1. Bally having so much less grip and pace on those medium tyres compared to Mick on those softs. Into turn 3 they go, and it seems like Bally is going to fall out of the podium places, unfortunately, as Mick regains the place off Bally. And yeah, so the podium places getting mixed up quite a lot in these last few laps, as all at the near bottom of the table seems to be staying the same. Most of the excitement is at the front at the moment. Yeah, as Nicky nearly loses control of his Alfa Romeo while being that by Outguard. But yeah, on to you.
yes, it's really interesting at the moment. Mix, though, seems to be gapping Mitch, which is pretty bold of him, as Barley's going to be trying to cling onto the DRS of Mitch, as this was almost inevitable, to be honest, because Barley's not going to be making any time on these new soft runners. He's on the mediums, he pitted fairly lately, so unfortunately, this is just how it goes for him, as he's now going to be having a fast, ambitious, stealthy. He lunges up the inside in the first corner, as now, yeah, it seems to be Mitch now somehow getting involved in this battle again. So it's now a fight for P3, as Mix in the Williams seems to be gapping these four cars. So Mitch having to defend P3 from now Stealthy, and Barley has dropped right back. He's now about to get overtaken. As he does, he goes wide, and Pikachu now seals P5. Now Barley demoted into P6, as he's just going to be trying to bring this home. As Dragon, by the way, in the hat has made tons of mistakes and lost 9 seconds from these four cars. As now Stealthy and Mitch, it's all kicking off. It's all kicking off. Stealthy goes wide. So now Pikachu's in front of Stealthy, and then Mitch is now going to try and like spread, run faster away from Pikachu, because now Pikachu's going to have the DRS off of him. So Mix, though, in the Williams is really gaining onto Outguard. So that's some impressive driving from the pole man. But it is
Yeah.
now going to be a bad exit for Mitch from the last corner, as now Pikachu with the DRS, deploying ERS, all these cars point a whole tank of ERS, and now it looks to be Stealthy heading into P3 as he does seal P3, breaking later as yeah, nothing's happened with Alan. Um, but Stealthy looks to be in front of Mick. And then also Pikachu making these medium compounds of tires work as he looks to be in P4. So Mitch now, who was in P3 trying to gap these guys, has now lost pace as well and finds himself in P5.
Yeah,
What's going to happen?
incredible. Yeah, what an incredible battle for these places in the late stages of the race as Pika and Stealth battling right now, but Steph goes a bit wide, is lucky to not hit those sausage curbs. Um, but yeah, side by side right now into the hairpin on the penultimate lap of this race, but Stealth losing traction there and Pika regains the place. Mick is going to fancy his chances in this battle as Mick, the other Mick in the Williams right now, starts his final lap along with the leader Outguard. But this monumental battle is going to go on to the final lap of the race. Who is going to get this final spot on the podium? Is it going to be Pika on the mediums? Is it going to be Stealth on the mediums? Or is it going to be Mick on those softs? Unfortunate for Valley. He looked like he was going to get a podium for so long, but it's just going to be out of his grasp today as Stealth gains the place of Pika. Pika is going to need that slipstream to try and get a chance through this tight part of the track, the end of sector 1, as Pika tries to get a good exit out of that turn, but it seems like Stealth had a bit of a moment there, and it seems like Pika is going to retake the place through these two right-handers. This part is crucial for the last spot on the podium. Stealth continued going wide at that part of the track, and it seems like he's going to lose out crucially here on the final lap as he got onto the grass on the last exit of that two right-handers, and he seems like he's gone on the grass as well, and he's had a moment there, and oh my lord, zigzagging across the track, and this is gonna give Bally a chance maybe, as he's right behind the Haas, as Outgod wins the Qatar Grand Prix, followed by Mick, followed by Pikachu, and it seems like he's gonna pick the final spot on the podium, followed by Stealth and Bally, who did a very good race in this time out in Qatar, as most people finished. Great points for Alan in the Peugeot in 10th. But yeah, great race with a lot of good battles.
Yes, indeed. That is such a awesome end to the season opener. Pikachu really getting lucky there by Stealthy's errors, crucially in the second and third sets. Maybe the pressure grew to him. And then Mitch also fell really far back. And Barley, lucky to get P5, as Mitch is going to be really disappointed with only P6, with only 8 points to his name. And Outguard going to be really happy, taking the lead, has the momentum with him. But I also just want to say, Mix in the Williams really clawed back to Outguard in the last laps, gapping Pikachu, Stealthy, Barley, and Mitch by 10 seconds and more. So, yes, really good race from the midfield today. From the back markers, not really much happened there. We saw some racy, grueling moments from Joseph and Nicky, but Alan, Gambo, ASM all had quite a lonely race with errors coming their way and making them feel sad during that race, missing out on such good battles for P3, P4, P5, and P6. As that will be the end of the season opener, end of the video. Thank you for watching, and that's goodbye from Aggie.
And goodbye from Duncan. See you in at round 2.
Yep, see you in round 2. Bye.